You're listening to the Fierce Fatty Podcast. I'm Victoria Welsby, TEDx speaker, best-selling author, and fat activist. I have transformed my life from hating my body with desperately low self-esteem to being a courageous and confident fierce fatty who loves every inch of this jelly. Society teaches us living in a fat body is bad, but what if we spent less time, money, and energy on the pursuit of thinness and instead focused on the things that actually matter, like if pineapple on pizza should be outlawed, or if the mullet was the greatest haircut of the 20th century. So, how do you stop negative beliefs about your fat body controlling your life? It's the Fierce Fatty Podcast. Let's begin. Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Fierce Fatty Podcast. And in today's episode, I am sharing with you the 5 reasons why diets are 100% fucked. Let's get into it. Chances are you've been on more than one diet in your life. I know I have, and at one point lost quite a lot of weight on, I won't tell you the diet, but guess what? Diets are fucked, and they don't work. So I want to talk about that today. So just in case, make sure we're on the same page about what a diet is. A diet is any type of restrictive eating, so whether it be a juice cleanse, and cleanses are bullshit, by the way, or a detox are bullshit, by the way. You have liver and kidneys to detox yourself, or telling yourself you won't eat carbs until you get a date with Channing Tatum. Hands off, he's mine. Or it could be full-on restriction of calories in order to starve yourself and reduce your body so that you can look like a supermodel. And a lot of the times we're not actually officially on a diet, but we are. From with the untrained eye, you're just going about your life. But when you go deep into understanding diet culture and all the different ways that it gets its claws into you, you're actually behaving in really restrictive ways, a lot of the times around food, and you don't realize it. So you might not have officially been on a diet for years, or maybe you've never been on a diet, but there may be behaviors and ways of thinking which are so 100% a diet. So let's not go on a diet anymore because they don't work. So that is my first point, is diets don't work. So imagine this. You go to your doctor with some serious medical problem, and your doctor tells you to take this pill that could work in the short term, but there's a 95% chance that in the long term will make you even more sick than you are today. Would you take it? No. Hell no. You tell that doctor to stop smoking the wacky backy, right? So in medicine, if a prescription doesn't work 95% of the time, doctors would work to create something better, not tell the patient to try harder at taking the prescription, right? And that is what diets are. So best chance, they have a 5% efficacy rate. So that's us being generous with the diet industry. Depending on your size, it's, can go to a 0.08% chance, or basically it's a 0% chance, right? So best chances is that a diet will work 5% of the time. And so not only do they not work, they make you fatter. And of course, there's nothing wrong with being fatter. But if you're going on a diet to be less fat, then it's literally doing the opposite. And the best thing about this, I say best, being sarcastic, is that once you fail your diet companies and our society, diet culture, has you believing that you are the failure and not the diet. So you try again and again and again and again and again. And you're like, oh my God, why is this not working? I'm so bad at this. But it's not you, right? It's not you. Think about any other product that you ever buy, okay? Because diets are a product. And only 5% of the time it worked. Say you bought a car. In the morning, you go out and you put the key in, you want to drive to work. And 95% of the time, it doesn't start. In fact, that's a good statistic. And then you go back to the car dealership and you're like, this thing doesn't fucking work. And they're like, well, have you tried hard enough? But were you really turning the key? Did you wake up early enough and turn the key before 6 a.m. because that's when you have to do it? I don't think that you're really trying, that hard with this. Are you cheating with other cars? No, you'd be like, this is fucking bullshit. Give me my money back, right? But the diet industry has been so fucking clever and blaming us for its failure. And so my next point, number two reason why diets are fucked. Let's say diets did work. Let's say they did. They don't make you healthier. And now a lot of people say, I'm not losing weight because I want to look a certain way. I want to be healthy. I call bullshit on that, because really, if someone could wave a magic wand over your head and say, you can be fat and healthy or thin, quote unquote, stereotypically attractive and unhealthy, how many people would hesitate? A lot, right? So it's not about health, it's about aesthetics. But even if deep down people are like, okay, it's about health. So, as we know, there's about a 5% chance that going on a diet will succeed. So why not try, right? Why not try? See what happens. Yes, great idea. And that's something that I thought plenty, right? I presumed that the 95% of people who failed at dieting they weren't trying hard enough. Not like me. They were lazy. They cheated and guzzled down gallons of liquid lard and had like 50 deep fried Mars bars for breakfast every day, right? That's what I presumed. I presumed the people who didn't do well at diets, it was their fault. And it's not that they weren't doing well at diets, it's diets weren't doing well with them. But, I had the thought of, I'm not like them. I'm disciplined and dedicated. But here's the thing. There's negative consequences of putting yourself on a diet, even if you do lose weight. So these negative consequences, get this, okay, listen up here. These negative consequences of going on a diet, just going on a diet, include high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, depression, and cardiovascular disease. What? Sounds kind of similar to the things that they tell us that we're going to get if we stay fat. And we've talked about success, like a 5% success rate, and that's the generous number. What does success actually mean? So for a diet to be quote unquote successful, you need to lose 10% of your body weight and keep it off for 2 years. Okay. So what does that mean number wise? Okay. So as an example, someone who is 350 pounds, if they lose 17.5 pounds and kept it off for 2 years, they would be in that top 5%, the absolute most successful success story from the diet industry. Here's another version. A 200-pound person. They would lose 10 pounds and keep it off over 2 years to be seen as the most successful version, because most people don't ever get that. That is the best case scenario, right? That doesn't seem like that much to lose in return for all that mental anguish and all that money spent on stupid subscriptions and, crappy food, like those, like no fat, no sugar, no air, no carbohydrates, no anything inside this food. It's just oxygen. So delicious. All that self-hate for losing 10, 20 pounds. Is that going to have any type of benefit to you? So, but what if you do lose weight? Won't less fat on your body mean that you're healthier? Won't losing that 10 or 20 or 30 or whatever, if you're going to be in like the miraculous percentage of losing any type of weight from a diet, won't that make you healthier though? Surely weighing less means you're healthier. Sorry to break it to you, but no. Having more fat on your body does not automatically mean you're not healthy. Having less fat on your body does not mean that you're a walking health guru, right? Indicators of health, just FYI, are things like good blood pressure, cholesterol, glucose, triglycerides, that type of stuff, your mental health. So can you get good health, quote unquote, good health? I'll do an episode about health and why that is a fucked up binary, just all sorts of stuff I have to say on that in a different episode. But let's say, can you get good health if you weigh the same? Yeah, you can. You can affect those types of things by weighing exactly what you weigh right now. So you could even look at how much time you spend moving your body or making healthy, quote unquote, healthy eating choices, or working on your strength or stamina, for example, if you want to be healthy. And a fat person can display all of these qualities of health despite having more fat on their body. Fat doesn't equal sickness, okay? And by the way, you don't owe being healthy to anyone, ever. You're not a better person if you're healthy or a worse person if you're not healthy. So my next point is diets actually make you less healthy. You might be thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, really? Really? Yeah. So yo-yo dieting. So a yo-yo dieting is also known as weight cycling. It's going on a diet, losing weight, putting it back on. Remember, it's not your fault that you put it back on, and repeat, which is what most humans do during their lives. So yo-yo dieting damages your long-term health. And many studies show yo-yo dieting is less healthy than being, I'm going to use an O word here. By the way, I'm going to do another episode about why the O words, obese and overweight, are totally fucked up, should be taken from our language, and basically need to be burnt in a fire somewhere. So, but this is quoting research. Ugh, I just hate it anyway. So many studies show that yo-yo dieting is less healthy than being obese and leads to numerous health problems and a potentially shorter life. And you might be thinking, but Victoria, fat people are going to have a shorter life anyway from all the fatness. Aren't they going to die when they're 30 years old or whatever? No. Statistically, another O word is coming up, obese people live longer than quote unquote normal weight people. Yep. Shut the fuck up, right? Now you might be thinking, what the fuck? It's science, honestly. No one really knows why, but the suggestion is that quote unquote overweight and quote unquote obese people are less prone to disease than normal, quote unquote normal and quote unquote underweight people. So yeah, if you're fat and you're older, then you've got a better chance of overcoming and not getting certain types of diseases. Okay, my next point is the diet industry is profiting from fat shaming you with scam products. So if dieting doesn't work, then why are so many people on diets? And anyway, we all know my aunt's friend's brother's dog's friend knew someone who lost 1,000 pounds on this quinoa diet and won the lottery and fell in love and grew wings. So dieting must work. Think about this. If dieting worked, there would be no dieting industry. Everyone would be thin. Everyone, right? We just go on that diet. You'd be like, okay, time for me to get thin. Go on that diet. You'd be like, oh, thin. Done. That's it for me the rest of my life. I'm thin, right? But this is going to blow your mind, because when I found this out, I was just like, what? This cannot be true, but it's true. there is not one single study that exists in the world, a legitimate study, peer-reviewed, that shows weight loss products or diets work in the long term. Not one. Let me repeat that to you, just in case you missed it. There is not one single study that exists that shows weight loss products or diets work in the long term. Isn't that wild? Instead, the diet industry is worth, in 2017, $64 billion a year, every year. And it's growing, right? So the diet industry is like, hey, do this diet, you'll become thin and super sexy. You're disgusting right now. You should really change that, you slob. And then they're like, that diet didn't work because it didn't include things like seaweed detox and parrot's toenails. And also, you're a fat loser. Try this one instead. Maybe you'll work harder this time and stop being so hideous. So I think we should tell the diet industry to get fucked, to go and do one. I'd rather give my money to a company who isn't preying on my low self-esteem with hocus pocus cures. The biggest thing, look, diets don't work is, Oprah bought into Weight Watchers, aka WW. Oprah, why? And she's been on diets all of her life, okay? Oprah is really fucking rich. She has unlimited resources. She definitely has like a private chef. She can have someone come out and do workouts with her. All of the things, okay? She has the most access a human could need to become thin. Yet Oprah is not thin. If that is not an indicator that diets don't work, then holy shit, I don't know what is, right? It's just Oprah just happens to be a bigger person. I wish, oh my God, I want Oprah to listen to this episode. And so, Oprah, listen, come on now, listen. You're great the way you are. Look, how much more evidence do you need that diets don't work? I mean, you're fabulous. Jeez, oh my God. So Oprah with endless money can't force her body to be smaller. Do you think that the average person can? No, they can't. Okay, my next point is that losing weight won't make you happy. It's not going to give you better self-esteem. So I had this fantasy in my mind that once I become thin, that I would shit glitter. Rainbows would appear from my bumhole. I wouldn't be able to get George Clooney to stop calling me, and obviously money's going to be appearing on my doorstep, Oh God, life is going to be amazing once I'm thin. And at one point I got thin. I became straight-sized. Was I shitting glitter? Did rainbows come out of my bumhole? No. No, they didn't. No, it didn't happen. What the heck? It didn't happen because what I was seeking was self-love and acceptance. And no matter how thin I was, there was always someone who was thinner and therefore more beautiful. And therefore, I still wasn't worthy, right? And it took me going deep in with dieting to get to the point where I realized, being thinner affords many benefits. Things like not experiencing fat phobia, being able to go and buy clothes, not have people be judging me in certain ways. But the thing I really wanted was to not be thinking about how awful I was all of the time. And not comparing my body to others and thinking, well, I'm thinner than her or I'm fatter than her. And what does my boyfriend think? And, all that type of shit. And it didn't happen. So I have come and pissed all over your dieting parade, maybe taken your hope away that you will one day be Beyonce. You can be Beyonce without losing weight, by the way. Well, that's not true. Beyonce's the only Beyonce, but you can be your own version of Beyonce, all right, without losing weight. But how about you think of it like this, okay? So diets don't work. You might have to let go of dieting, and that's kind of sad, right? Because really what you're letting go of is the hope that one day you're going to feel all right. But you're not letting go of the hope, really, because you can still one day feel all right. You can still one day feel better, feel healthy. Whatever it is you're trying to achieve through dieting, you can get there without dieting, okay? You can do things like, you can start to forgive yourself for not ever sticking to a diet. And I say that with the big quotes around it, sticking to a diet. Because the reason why you can't stick to a diet is because your body is like, what the fuck is going on? We are literally starving. We're going to do a ton of things to make sure that you stop this behavior, because this is bad. I'm going to do an episode on what is actually happening within your body when you're on a diet. But basically your body is being your best friend and making sure that you're not going to lose weight and die, basically, right? And you can come to terms with where you're at right now. So, by the way, if you don't know, that we all have a natural weight set point that our body likes to be at. Have you noticed that most people are generally around the same weight their whole lives? And we have a 10 to 20 pound range that our body's like, yeah, this is pretty good. This is where I like to be. This is what I weigh. And when you move out of that, then your body's like, let's make some changes. And so when you're losing weight and you lose, 10 plus pounds, then your body's like, what the fuck is going on, right? So you can come to terms with like, okay, this is maybe where my body wants to be. You can also begin to embrace the awesome body you have today. And your body does, oh my Lord. Let's think about this. The amount of shit your body does to you, does for you, and you've done to it. You're like, you need to get thin, you worthless sack of shit. And your body's like, I'm just trying to get us along in the world. And I'm sorry. And, your body does some pretty amazing things for you, like sleeping and blinking and high kicking and guffawing and all the stuff that your brain does for you. And your ears are listening to this, or maybe you're reading a transcript, or, holy shit. Think of all the great things that your body does for you versus focusing on its outside appearance. You can spend less money on diet bullshit. I know so much of those like detoxes, where they send you packets of like, they're like, oh, here, put some cinnamon and some water and you're going to drink this and then you're going to, detox and then, you're going to grow some like horns and then you're going to be great and all that type of bullshit is really expensive. I know memberships for, going to get weighed and stuff. It's expensive. What can you use that money on? Doing something fabulous. Buying yourself some cool shit like, t-shirts that say riots, not diets, or I don't give a fuck about your diet, Susan. I really want one of those ones. I've got the first one, riots, not diets. You can get the second one, I don't give a fuck about your diet, Susan, from Fat Mermaids. Amazing, want it. So you can spend your money on cool shit that makes you feel good versus stuff that makes you mentally and physically unwell. You're also going to have way more brain space to think about cool things instead of spending about 29 hours a day dreaming of when you can eat next and how to sex up that celery stick. Right? When you're on a diet, your brain has to make you focus on getting food because you are actually starving. That is what's happening. Your brain is like, bitch, stop doing that thing you're doing right now and go and eat something. We are dying. Hello, get on the page. We're dying here. And when your body and your brain is relaxed and it knows, oh, she's going to feed me, it's going to be fine. Then all of a sudden you're like, I don't actually need to think about celery. I can think about, I'm going to go on a date with this guy. Or, maybe I'm going to ask for a promotion at work. Or, there's a new series on Netflix. etc., etc., etc. And another positive thing about this is you can buy clothes that fit you instead of a size down, hoping that you'll slim into them. You can clear your overstuffed wardrobe of all of these clothes that would only fit a toddler version of yourself and fill it with new, awesome, super sassy outfits. Right? You can just get rid of all of that stuff, hanging on to this quote unquote dream of when you're going to get thin and all of the things that are going to happen. Right? So I know this might have made you a bit sad. Maybe you were like, oh yeah, I know about. Maybe you were like, oh yeah, I know about this stuff already. And this has been like a cool refresher of this information. Maybe you're really fucking angry now. Maybe you're like, what the hell? This whole time I've believed that if only I tried harder, then I would finally be thin. Maybe you feel relieved that you realize that it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Honestly, you have worked so hard at losing weight. Oh my God. We all have worked so hard at this stuff. I mean, if it was just about willpower, we'd all be thin. But that would be really boring, right? I'm glad that we're not all thin. I think it's beautiful that we have a different variety of bodies. And your body is perfect just the way it is. All right? So let's tell diets to get fucked. We're done with them. This is a relationship that is OVER for good. And if this is a new concept to you, then you will still get lured into thinking, oh, but there's this new diet where you just rub banana peels on your bum hole. I've heard it makes you lose like 75 pounds in 12 seconds. Maybe I'll look into that one. You'll see things like that and you'll be like, okay. And you'll see people be like, oh, but this one's not a diet though, right? This banana peeling on your bum hole thing, that's not a diet. This is about wellness. This is about health. If it's about losing weight, it's a diet. It's a diet, okay? If it's about you shrinking the size of your body, then it is a diet, okay? But you just, FYI, you're going to get lured in. You might even go on some more diets, being like, well, just one last try. That's fine, right? We've all spent so many years in living in this diet culture, a culture that is obsessed with quote unquote health and smaller body sizes as being held up as the most desirable. So that's absolutely normal. And even years and years after you stop dieting, you still might be like, oh, maybe diets have got better. I saw this one where it's, you just take this one pill and right. There's always something because diet companies, they are expert marketers. They have to be very, very intelligent marketers because diets are not a new product. And so this is like marketing theory. When a new product comes onto the market, the marketing doesn't have to be that sophisticated. So think about like when the iPhone came out, the marketing, they didn't have to be like, this is, here are all the features and benefits, and this is why our phone is the best, and here's some data and stuff. They had that stuff, but really it was just like, this is the iPhone. This is the only one. You want it, right? And we all knew. Whereas now, like years later, now we have lots of different options that are really, really cool and stuff. And so the marketing has to get more sophisticated. And so when it comes to dieting has been around for years and years. And there is like literally a gajillion diets. And so they have to become very, very smart. And so what they do is they will attach to your identity and they will align their identity with your identity. And so you really feel like it's a part of you. They have to become sophisticated. And so don't feel like you're weak because you're falling for their bullshit. Because, people have degrees and masters and PhDs in learning how to market diets to you. And you're just like, I'm just trying to, go around and be fabulous. And and then you'll have people trying to mess with your brain. So yeah, so that is why diets are fucked. The 5 reasons. So let me just round it up for you. Number 1 reason why diets are fucked: they don't work. Number 2, even if they did, they won't make you healthier. Number 3, in fact, they make you less healthy. Number 4, the diet industry is profiting from fat shaming you with scam products. And number 5, losing weight won't make you happy or improve your self-esteem. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, so I wanted to end our episodes with a little fact about me so you can get to know me, and I want to get to know you all as well. So you tell me, I'm going to share something with you and you can tell me your version, all right? So a little fact about me is that I can play the trumpet. Oh my God. That's not really what it sounds like, but you get the picture. I learned for about 6 years when I was a kid. So I learned in primary school and secondary school for those Brits out there. I can also, not as well, play the piano. So I studied the piano as an adult for a couple of years, and I like singing. And so I like going to a choir, and I just love singing in my house. A little bit of, show tunes. Love a bit of that, Do you play an instrument? Can you sing? What's your favorite song to sing? Share with me. Tell me. And if you would like the show notes to this episode so you can follow along, then go to fiercefatty.com/003 because this is episode 3. Again, that is fiercefatty.com/003 because it's episode 3. And I know that you're the type of person who is digging this stuff because you were right at the end of our episode here. And so I know it's important for you to support fat positivity and confidence. And so why not share this podcast? Why not leave a review? That is really, really, really helpful. The reason why it's so helpful is because on iTunes, if you leave reviews, it tells the iTunes algorithm that this podcast is something that's worth sharing on their side of things. And so they will then make sure that it is a new and noteworthy podcast. The more reviews, the better. So even if you just leave like a 5-star and you're just like, yo, good, great, Victoria's sexy, obviously you're going to write that. Anything you want, just leave a 5-star review and subscribe so that you know when the next episode is out and you don't miss a single second of this juicy, juicy stuff that I'm sharing on the Fierce Fatty podcast. So thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you, really. You don't know how much I appreciate you for being here and for tuning in, listening to me. It's a real privilege that I can talk about this stuff and people listen. So thank you, for being here. I'm so excited to continue to share all of this stuff. And I know I'm talking about this episode like, I'm going to share this on another episode because there's so many things, right? So I'm so excited to share even more with you. So yeah, I shall see you on the next episode. All right. See you then. Goodbye.